This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Dunedin woman Jan Scott is happy to be celebrating Christmas with friends, but not the cancer she was misdiagnosed with. A house on the Dunedin suburb of Concord lights up the lives of many. And more than 2,000 people are expected to fill Stadium Southland for the Invercargill's annual variety performance. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. A Dunedin woman, Jan Scott, is happy to be celebrating Christmas in relatively good health after she was told in June that she was dying of cancer and only had months to live. However, she is angry and frustrated at the repeated misdiagnosis of her health.
6 months ago, Jan Scott had lost a lot of weight and ended up in hospital after being very unwell. Following a chest x-ray and ultrasound scan, a doctor told her the bad news.
After they'd done that scan, the house surgeon came around about an hour later, pulled the curtains round my bed, sat on my bed, and he said, "You've got lung cancer."
This devastating news was followed up by a letter shortly after.
"You have lung cancer which has spread throughout your lungs. Best option for care is involvement with the palliative specialist team at the hospice. Chemotherapy and radiation would not be helpful in this instance."
Given 4 to 9 months to live, she made plans for her funeral, but became suspicious when there was no increasing pain, as one might expect when dying of cancer. However, the so-called expert from Dunedin's hospital, who had read her scan and told her she had lung cancer, kept on assuring her she was dying.
I went back to the respiratory doctor, and he read it to us, and it was virtually the same as what's written on this.
It wasn't until early November that she was told she has no cancer anywhere in her body.
And I just went off my tree. I said, well, yeah, the last 6 months you've had me dying. I've made all my funeral arrangements. I brought my family over from Australia. I've paid for them for accommodation, airfares for my little grandchildren to see Nana before she gets too sick. And he couldn't have cared less. I think he thought that I should jump over the desk and hug him and say, "Good on you, I'm pleased for that news." And I am. I'm happy I haven't got cancer. But it was the way they dealt with it. And apparently 10 doctors said that I had lung cancer and it spread through my lungs.
Upon being approached, the Southern District Health Board refused to discuss the case. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
Anger and frustration is flaring amongst parents and schools in southern Dunedin over the temporary closure of a mobile dental unit at Abbotsford School. The unit, which services school pupils at Green Island, Fairfield, Big Rock, Concord and Abbotsford schools, was closed last month because the Southern District Health Board was having difficulty recruiting enough staff to run it. Green Island School Principal Steve Hayward says principals in the area are angry because there have been no communication from the Southern District Health Board to say the unit would be closing, why it was closing and how long it would be closed for. Principals believe the situation was totally preventable. Christmas has come early for a Dunedin woman who's chosen to remain anonymous, but whose house can probably be seen from space. The Concord resident has been decorating her home since October and says she has thousands of visitors this December, and a warning: this story contains images of flashing lights.
If there's life on Mars, they'll be able to see this house in the Dunedin suburb of Concord. At this time of year, locals get into the spirit of Christmas with light displays around the neighbourhood, but this address is special. For the past 18 Christmases, thousands of children and adults have made the annual pilgrimage to experience the many wonders of the season in every room of this Dunedin home. I'm Rosella Bone at Roy Crescent in Concord with 5 days to go to Christmas. It's a festive season gone mad thanks to the host who wants to only be known as Christmas Carol. The mother of 2 and grandmother of 3 starts decorating every room of her home in October, opening her place to the community throughout December. The reason? She simply loves Christmas and the joy it brings to others. For nearly 20 years she has been sourcing items to add to the decorations locally and in Australia. This masked and anonymous Christmas fairy says there's only one problem. With the size of her Christmas collection expanding all the time, she's running out of space. She says if she ever wins lotto, the first thing she'll do is to buy a bigger house to make space for even more Christmas cheer. Rosella Bone, The South Today.
North Otago's well-known Jersey Benny potatoes are finally in full harvest in time for Christmas. Armstrong & Co are one of the biggest producers and have a large crew working flat out to keep up with demand. Owner Peter Armstrong says the earliest crops planted this year had been affected by rainfall in July. He says it was a challenge to have the later crops ready for the Christmas market, but he believes they'll be able to satisfy demand over Christmas and into the new year. More than 2,000 people will fill Stadium Southland on Friday night for Invercargill's annual variety show. Tickets have sold out and the last of the dress rehearsals are underway. Sharon Rees has more.
One day out from the big event, and the music is ready, the special effects are ready, and the performers are almost ready. Stadium Southland General Manager Nigel Scout says with around 300 performers, this year's variety show will be the biggest yet.
Oh, it's been a hectic time without doubt, but a real thrill to get to dress rehearsal as we are now. Over 300 performers on stage, so this is our biggest show in 17 years and we're sold out, so just a great community concert really, and fantastic that we can give something back to the Southland community.
He said the show, which mainly focuses on Christmas, is growing in popularity every year, and with tickets now sold out, around 2,400 people will be filling the stands.
Every seat taken, so that's fantastic for the performers really, and our youngest artists are starting at 5 and our oldest is around about 70, so a wide range of activity, wide variety of songs, but basically around Christmas as well, but just to try and spread that Christmas cheer.
Over its 17 years, people from around the country have been invited to perform, but Scout says this year mainly focuses on the talent here in Southland.
In the past we've used a lot of artists from outside Invercargill and Southland. This year's show is totally Southland orientated. We've got an amazing array of talent. We've got 7 rising stars today that we've been working with for 2 months, aged from 7 to 14, never been on stage before, and they're doing 3 numbers, and they will be, with my professional opinion, they will be the standouts of the show. Just fantastic group of talent.
While there will be classic songs from Grease and the Beach Boys, a mainly Christmas-oriented theme means the audience can expect their favourite Christmas carols and even a visit from the big man in red. Sharon Rees, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, we see what people are buying around Dunedin, and cherries arrive early in central Otago.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
At the Otago SPCA, our role is to make sure that all animals in Dunedin and the Otago region are being looked after properly. Otago SPCA offer a haven for animals in need and adoption opportunities for the community. We appreciate your interest and support. For help and advice, we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you have any concerns, give us a call.
They're part of the family, and like us, their health begins with what they eat too. So give them Radical Dog, made in New Zealand from all natural ingredients and real tart cherries, so it's high in antioxidants. It's a 3-in-1 superfood, giving them energy, flexibility and a healthy coat. With no fillers or nasty preservatives, they love them. It's the treat that can work wonders on every dog, no matter what their breed, age or health. Radical Dog, the new generation in dog food.
My elves and I just love coming to Alex Campbell's. That's my favourite shop. I always get good value here, and good boys really deserve good brands and good quality. Look at these tees. Local beaches on some of them too. This is only for the good boys, the old boys, the young boys. What about some bright shorts for the boys? Excellent.
season, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
While you're relaxing this holiday season, Ready Lawn is available to help you with your lawn needs, big or small. We work so you don't have to. Call Ready Lawn today.
Gillian's Care. They care for loved ones, families, friends and our community. At a time of bereavement, care and support makes all the difference, and Gillians know this. They're here for you when you need it most. From advanced funeral planning to a service for your loved one, Gillians will guide and assist you with your individual choices. Their legendary attention to detail and passion to get it right are second to none. Gillians, caring for families in our communities since 1962.
Active Interior Design in Mornington are the curtain and blind experts. The team can even advise you on outdoor products like awnings and umbrellas, and will ensure that everything is perfect. For interior design with flair, call Active to book your free in-home consultation or call into the showroom in Mornington.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician, for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
What if? That's the question being asked about the future for the Dunedin waterfront. Discover more for yourself by visiting a new display on now at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. There's information on offer and models that portray the vision. Plus, there are opportunities to share your feedback on the ideas presented. The Dunedin Harbour Vision. What if? See the ideas and designs suggested for the Dunedin Harbour at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum.
The University of Otago, New Zealand's only true collegiate university. For first-year students, the history, the expectations of excellence are
unfamiliar.
G'day, I'm next door.
Hi, next door. I'm Samantha Pascoe.
No, you're not. I'm Josh, Clyde, Science. And you are?
Sam, Hastings, Law and Arts.
Tane, Auckland, Commerce. Osaka, Greece, Classics. History.
Calling all Otago superheroes, the 2018 Relay for Life needs your team. On March 17 and 18, the relay teams will join together to create one of the most inspiring events, helping not only to raise funds but also to remember those who have fallen to cancer or are struggling with it. To register your team, simply go to the website and sign on, then start fundraising. It's about celebrating, remembering and fighting back. Be a superhero and register now at relayforlife.org.nz.
Welcome back. Members of the Luggett community have been left with a bad taste in their mouths after the Queenstown Lakes District Council moves to chlorinate the town's water supply. Luggett Community Association Chairman Graham Perkins says the lack of consultation by the council is as much as an issue as the chlorination itself. Perkins says his association typically has a good relationship with the council, but this process isn't going well. He told the Otago Daily Times he ended up feeling the QLDC was just paying lip service to the community. With just hours of shopping time left until Christmas, for many the search goes on for the perfect gift. This morning Roselle LeBone took to the malls of Dunedin to find out what the hot ticket items are this year.
Christmas is just around the corner and Dunedin's three main malls are full of activity. These buskers added a festive note to the hustle and bustle, saving up to buy a new guitar and a violin respectively.
Well, I guess some people are really busy, so yeah, but a lot of people have been really generous, so it's really nice.
Meanwhile in the malls, it was go 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 for 11th hour shopping. Police were on hand and on the beat at Dunedin's three main malls to ensure that in the midst of the busyness, shoppers and retailers remained safe.
I think probably one of the biggest hazards. Make sure you hold on to your gear while you're walking around as well. We don't really have a problem with that, but we don't want people losing stuff too. So.
There were gadgets and gizmos aplenty for the young and young at heart.
Put in what pressure you want for your tyres and flick the switch.
Shops like Pandora, famous for their charm bracelet adornments, have been experiencing wall-to-wall shoppers. But the very young pointed out you can't beat a classic, like these Playmobil toys which have been in fashion since the 70s. Despite the last-minute retail rush, there was just enough time to have a sit-down with Santa and share a few Christmas wishes. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
Central Otago's cherries have ripened 3 weeks early. The South Today met up with those working hard in orchards to bring the sweet stone fruit to our tables.
The harvesting of cherries in Central Otago is in full swing and 3 weeks earlier than normal, according to Jackson Orchards manager Mark Jackson.
We predict about 90% through our crop by Christmas time this year, which is unusual for us.
The first variety of cherries to ripen are Burlat, and the last varieties, which will be coming on stream early January, are Lapin and Staccato. Jackson says the unusually warm spring is responsible for the early ripening of the fruit.
Well, it's just the mild weather, I think, in the spring, and we had very little in the way of frost, so it started off early and then we've had very hot weather since.
Jackson's orchard workers will finish picking Lapin cherries between 5th and 10th of January and then move on to the plentiful rows of apricots, peaches and nectarines. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, a group of bus users reinvent a classic tune and we look back at the month that was.
My elves and I just love coming to Alex Campbell's. That's my favourite shop. I always get good value here, and good boys really deserve good brands and good quality. Look at these tees. Local beaches on some of them too. This is only for the good boys, the old boys, the young boys. What about some bright shorts for the boys? Excellent.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
What if? That's the question being asked about the future for the Dunedin waterfront. Discover more for yourself by visiting a new display on now at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. There's information on offer and models that portray the vision. Plus, there are opportunities to share your feedback on the ideas presented. The Dunedin Harbour Vision. What if? See the ideas and designs suggested for the Dunedin Harbour at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum.
While you're relaxing this holiday season, Ready Lawn is available to help you with your lawn needs, big or small. We work so you don't have to. Call Ready Lawn today.
For 3 generations, the Kilpatrick family have ensured Jimmy's pies are still world famous in the South Island. Made to an old family recipe, Jimmy's pies have been one of New Zealand's traditional takeaway foods, prepared daily on the premises alongside a range of savouries, sausage rolls and cakes. Jimmy's pies are distributed throughout the lower South Island. Jimmy's pies are sure to satisfy your travelling munchies.
Gillian's Care. They care for loved ones, families, friends and our community. At a time of bereavement, care and support makes all the difference, and Gillians know this. They're here for you when you need it most. From advanced funeral planning to a service for your loved one, Gillians will guide and assist you with your individual choices. Their legendary attention to detail and passion to get it right are second to none. Gillians, caring for families in our communities since 1962.
At the Otago SPCA, our role is to make sure that all animals in Dunedin and the Otago region are being looked after properly. Otago SPCA offer a haven for animals in need and adoption opportunities for the community. We appreciate your interest and support. For help and advice, we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you have any concerns, give us a call.
Active Interior Design in Mornington are the curtain and blind experts. The team can even advise you on outdoor products like awnings and umbrellas and will ensure that everything is perfect. For interior design with flair, call Active to book your free in-home consultation or call into the showroom in Mornington.
helping New Zealanders to do more. Talk to MTF today.
It's Christmas time again on Channel 39, and this Christmas we have you covered. On Christmas Eve we have Miracle Dogs at 4 p.m, Angel Dog at 5:30, and LeBeau at 8:30 p.m. Plus we have carols and Santa Parade all day Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for staying with us. Dunedin bus users have expressed concern this year about the Otago Regional Council's changes to their services. One group is using Christmas music to spread the message.
A group of disgruntled bus users has been inspired by the festive season to remake a classic Christmas carol.
Off day of Christmas, we like the ORC.
Bus users support group Otapoti Dunedin has rewritten the carol 12 Days of Christmas, changing the lyrics to describe their distaste for the recent Otago Regional Council bus changes. This video, released on their Facebook page yesterday, shows the group singing the piece outside Mahon Street Hospital in Andersons Bay. The lyrics incorporate requests for the Otago Regional Council to provide barrier-free bus boarding, more shelters, more reliable bus drivers, a reinstated Canongate bus, $5 top-ups and a bus stop in Mahon Street. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
And now we take another look back on our year that was. For many families, the festive season is also one of acknowledging loss of friends or families, sometimes in tragic circumstances, or the loss of employment, such as the Dunedin residents employed at Cadbury.
Over the course of 2017, it was confirmed that over 300 staff at Dunedin's Cadbury factory would be made redundant at various stages in the near future. Just 3 days before Christmas, 85 workers were scheduled to walk out of their factory for the last time. Union Delegate Teresa Gooch said the last year has been busy.
It's been really hard on a lot of people, but we've done a lot of hours, doing 10-hour shifts, some doing 12 and Saturdays, so pumping out a lot of production till the finish, and I guess a lot of people focused on that to make the money that they can, and yeah, maybe take their mind off what's going on around us.
Ben McLean was sentenced to 17 years in prison following the murder of Verity McLean and the attempted murder of Gary Duggan.
Ben has now got 17 years to think about what he has done. He said he had lost the love of his life in court. He didn't lose her, he executed her. His only regret has been getting caught and not finishing out what he set out to do.
On a more positive note, Invercargill resident Melissa Aitken made sure that the annual civic Christmas lunch would go ahead after the town's mayor was unable to organise it.
It would never be cancelled with me on the scene. So it was always going to run. I was always going to be volunteering, of course, with my children. We love it. When I found out it was not going to be running, well, there was no question. I just texted him immediately, and that's when he called me back on the Sunday and said, and I was very grateful that I was taking it over.
In Dunedin, Presbyterian Support were busy distributing donated Christmas gifts to 250 families.
Kairi Men's Shed, a couple of the volunteers made these, and so they would have spent hours cutting them out, putting them all together and painting them.
And Greymouth held their annual appeal for cans and food. Salvation Army Captain Michael McAuliffe said the food bank depended on the public's generosity.
So I rely heavily on our lovely supporters here, and of course the volunteers that go around collecting all the stuff tonight. It will certainly help over Christmas, and even after Christmas, the amount of stuff they'll get in tonight when people come looking for food parcels and help.
These generous donations will help people well into the new year, especially once the Christmas bills come in.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dunedin woman Jan Scott is happy to be celebrating Christmas in relatively good health after she was told in June that she was dying of cancer and only had months to live. Christmas has come early for a Dunedin woman who's chosen to remain anonymous, but whose house can probably be seen from space. And more than 2,000 people will fill Stadium Southland on Friday night for Invercargill's annual variety show, to which tickets have sold out. And now it's time for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig Page. What have you got for us tomorrow?
Plenty of reading in our Friday edition. We're leading with a story with the Southern District Health Board applying for almost $100 million. We're labelling it a rescue package, really, to keep Dunedin Hospital running ahead of plans for a new hospital. Of course, we've signalled that a new hospital is in the wings, but we could be talking up to a decade before that's complete. Chris Fleming saying they've basically applied for the funding to keep the hospital running until this facility can be built. He said that they can't exist under the current structure over the next decade, so they've got to do some work, particularly the emergency department. A lot of stories about the state of that at the moment. It needs to be upgraded, and a new operating theatre as well. So we've got to have their application in by Christmas, and we should hear in the new year whether the government's going to front with that $100 million. Yeah. Everyone loves a good weather story. We're looking back on the year that was with the weather. Looking back to January, we had the big snow dump, of course record-breaking rain over the winter months and lots of flooding out on the Taieri, and again record temperatures in November. So fingers crossed they'll continue over the next couple of months as well and get a summer out of it.
I'd definitely like a summer.
Would be nice. And in our sport and racing tomorrow as well, we've got our lift out. Our racing rider Johnny Turner's looking ahead to the big summer of racing in the region. Starts on Boxing Day with a big Wingatui meeting, and then over the next 12 days something like 6 meetings throughout Otago. So he gives us the when and why and the how to, so plenty of reading in that.
Thank you very much. And now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Silberhorn Collagen Plus.
Looking at the situation, fine tomorrow with light winds and milder northwesterly airflow developing over the weekend, with rain on the western ranges but fine weather elsewhere. A southwesterly change will bring rain to most areas on Christmas Day, but clearing weather next Tuesday. To the southern outlook, Balclutha, Gore and Lumsden, light northerlies, fine and 20. Catlins, you're the same with a slightly cooler 18 degrees. To the central outlook, Alexandra, light winds, fine and 25 degrees. Queenstown and Wanaka, you're the same with 24 degrees. Tiana has moderate westerlies, fine and 17 degrees. To the northern outlook, Oamaru and Timaru, you're in for light northeasterlies, some cloud and 18 degrees. Amarama and Twizel, you're looking at light winds, fine and a decent 24 degrees. Here in Dunedin tonight, becoming fine with an overnight low of 9. Tomorrow, sunny periods and scattered cloud with moderate northeasterly winds, 17 and 12. And milder on Saturday with sunny periods, some cloud and fresh breezy northeasterlies, 19 and 12 degrees. And in Invercargill tonight, some cloud with an overnight low of 8 degrees. Tomorrow becoming fine and sunny with moderate westerly winds, 17 and 8. And it's fine and sunny with high cloud increasing during the day on Saturday and milder northwesterly winds developing, 21 and 8 degrees, so still a nice day for the weekend. And that's our news for this Thursday. For the latest news from the southern region, you can follow us on Facebook and at channel39.co.nz. I hope you all have a great evening. Take care. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.